Greetings to all of you. Of course, I wouldn't say my fellow Guyanese because I'm certain that there are others from other territories and other nations who would join us. So let me first of all say welcome to this broadcast, one in which I consider to be very, very important, absolutely critical to the nature of Forward Ghana movement. We welcome you. Thank you so much for being here with us. And as you join, please indicate to me whether you hear me clearly and you see me clearly. We want to do an audio check, a video check, so that we can ensure that everything is fine. And then we can proceed with this very, very critical discussion. As always, you know the Forward Ghana movement, we call pioneers. Though we're new, we are pioneers. We've been pioneers and we shall continue to be the same. In order for Ghana to move forward, she has to be different. We cannot move forward under the same situation, same circumstances, and with the same nature politically. We're here today to speak to all, not just those who are called supporters of Forward Ghana movement, but all, or every Guyanese, everyone from any other nation who has an interest in our political affairs and in reference to our nature. Because we must not forget that at this time, Guyana is deemed to be the wealthiest nation per capita, top one, two. And there's a vested interest in what happens in our nation. The climate in Guyana is very, very important at this time. And it requires not a large or small party, it requires a new movement where Guyanese understand the role we play in our political sphere and what responsibilities we have therein. I'm joined today by our presidential candidate, Ms. Amanza Walton Desir, one who would have been, for the past 2 months, walking side by side with me. I would have been walking side by side with her, along with our brothers and sisters, and our best, of course, from VPAC. And we have shown through your work, Guyanese, through your decisions, that we are now able to stand in the House of Assembly and give due representation according to what the Constitution requires. There are many what ifs, there are many questions that are to be answered, and I hope that today on this broadcast we shall be able to do that. I will welcome or present our presidential candidate. She's no longer presidential candidate in reference to because the results have been announced, but one who happens to be one of the principals or the leader of Forward Ghana movement, the head of our list, someone who has shown us over the course of 6 weeks, 6 weeks of campaigning, in quite a unique way, I should say, and in a manner that was unusual. We saw the true Amanza Walton Desir. I call her a patriot. When you love your country, you do whatever you have to do in the best interest of your nation, not to her peril, but to the best interest of this nation. I present to you today Amanza Walton Desir. I call her the one and only. You can't find three of them in this world, not even two. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank
And
you. Thank
as
you,
I call you
Naima.
my sister,
Thank you.
let
Thank
us,
you, brother. Such an awesome privilege to be here. Wow. Filled with nothing but gratitude. Just
yes,
filled with gratitude for what we've been able to accomplish. The longest journey begins with one step. And I am so immensely proud of the men and women of the Forward Guyana movement. 6 weeks of campaigning. No resources because none of us are billionaires, but with limited resources and just with a whole lot of people who believed in the vision of what we're doing. And for the first outing, we were able to secure a seat in the National Assembly. And so, in spite of all that has happened throughout the period of the elections, the irregularities uncovered, just the manifest breakdown of the electoral system, we remain so grateful. Thank you to all of our supporters. Thank you to everyone that took time out to go to the polls and to look for the Ford Guyana symbol, the movement symbol, the wheel, and to put your X there. You are the champions of true and real change. And, our country is going to go through a lot in the coming months and years, Nigel. And we've been saying this, that we have to prepare our citizens for what is to come. We have to prepare our people for what is to come. We're seeing the geopolitical shifts that are happening,
Yes.
and they listen. People of Guyana are going to need honest, earnest voices to help them navigate the coming days and months and years. And I'm just so pleased that Forward Guyana is at the table. We have a seat at the table, and it begins with one seat. Just like journey begins with one step, real change begins with one seat. And I'm excited. I'm excited, ready to get to work. We have so much to discuss. So, but I just needed to stop to say thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Hello,
once again, and
Norman.
welcome, of course. Our brothers here from VPAC and Ford Ghana movement in
Am I
just
level, guys?
you're
Yeah, you're
live.
good. You look good.
So
You
once
make
I
it.
bring in the screen, we make it.
You make
we,
it.
we,
You make
we,
Am I
it.
we
looking like
see
the star I am? And I know.
Yes, sir. Yes,
we
sir.
see,
Yes,
we see
sir.
what's left of the handsome part of you. So
Am
that'll
I,
work for
am I
now.
glowing better than Nigel? Because there's always a comparison. Who looks better?
That's what I'm saying.
It's a toss up. It's a toss up. It's a
Yeah,
toss up.
we'll work with what's
Nigel,
left of
we
the
don't get
handsome
to
side of you,
decide. The
man.
viewers get to
Uh
decide.
huh.
So spell it out.
Welcome, brother. Two
Thank you.
two
Thank
months
you.
ago. 2 months ago, look at your screen on the 1st of July.
Yes, I remember that day.
And this was met with, of course, the expected doubts because persons never believed that in 2 months. We had 2 weeks to try to organize ourselves and begin the campaign, begin to move around. And in 2 months, 2 months. Though in your opening view, we heard from Amanza. What are your thoughts? Ford Ghana movement is in the House of Assembly.
Nigel, the entire nation know where this all started with me and VPAC. It was someone speaking out against corruption. It was someone speaking out against his personal, the way he was treated. And I don't see it as an isolated issue. I see it as an issue that many Guyanese are facing today. And to know that TikTok video and the few lives that I would have done would have led to the people not just believing in me, but believing in the three of us today, to giving us an opportunity, not just to continue to speak out, but to represent them in the House of Assembly. Y'all know I'm an emotional baby, right? So don't make me cry today, man, because this is so surreal that from a little boy in El Dorado to a person that became one of success that people should be proud of, to have been stripped, to now know that I'm part of a movement, I'm chairman of a movement that sits alongside people like yourself and Amanza. Guyana should be proud. And what this signals is people are sick and tired of the old system and are hoping and are looking forward for new, long, young, fresh leadership with fresh ideas and a new path for them to walk on. This is no longer about the red and the green anymore. People are tired. That's what this demonstrates. And they want to hear from us, not just in the streets anymore, not just on our Facebook anymore, but in the main house where the decisions are made.
Yes.
And I'm very grateful. And I spoke to my kids. I spoke to, because they saw me as the law. I'm forgotten. Now today we're not. So I thank both of you guys for
Right.
trusting in me, and for the people more especially that came out and vote for us, because we could not have done this by ourselves. And using the time that we would have had allotted to us, what was it, like 6 weeks,
6 weeks.
and we had no money. I'm not afraid to say that, because we weren't a part of any corruption, and we were able to pull it off. It's just the beginning of greater things, because what this does, it sends a very strong signal. Because if they had no money, they hadn't billions to spend, but people still trusted them to go represent them in the House of Assembly. It tells you where the people are today, that they want good leadership.
It does. And thank you so much, Darwin. And of course, we'll have our usual, what I call this family discussion. And that's how we are. And I think that the health of Forward Ghana movement lies in the nature of what we are. And I think I would say certainly that Mr. Balkan, Foreign Minister Balkan, would have spoken very, very aptly to this at our final briefing when he said that he would not only been a part of parties and stuff, but this is a family. And
Correct.
because we see ourselves as a family, the way we interact is different. In my view, the Guyanese population was able to see us functioning as our natural selves, which is very important, authentic. There was no political hat somebody had tried to wear and then you become somebody else later. We were who we were, and to have three principals, two men, one lady, and be able to function in this manner. We have B Man and we have so many others who were here with us, the Farnham sisters and Salima, so many people, Emily and others who were there. Then we also
Michael,
had the Malika Randy. We have to call a list of names, but we wouldn't do that. What we would say is that, in my view, the presence of the youths, and Amanzi can tackle this, the presence of youths they were the engine of the movement. They were they would have been this rack opinion. They all don't know mechanics, some of you, so that's fine. But when you turn your wheel, if your steering's bad, your steering end's bad, you turn this for the car on somewhere else. But they held us in place like a solid rock opinion to say, when you go left, we go left. Speak to the presence of the youth in this movement and how impactful it would have been on our result.
incredible, incredible. Nicholas Chesney, Randy, there's so many young people, Laura, Tawana, check. There's just so many people, so many young people that we saw had a passion for this nation. Rico, who was doing stuff
Yeah.
remotely, you know. We had Richie,
Oh my
incredible.
Lord.
The Soon boys from
Please make please
Caribbean.
make sure you had the bad family
Um,
because he's gonna come
Yeah.
screaming.
Richie and the Bad Family. Incredible, incredible young people who
Yeah.
saw the necessity for this. Shamar, the two Shamars. I mean, just
Oh yes, yes.
erstwhile soldiers, and there's so many more that you know. The young ladies from Region Two,
Oh
Toya.
my Lord.
It
Yeah.
was incredible to see just their belief and their uh, interest being rekindled in politics because they say that politics is like a lost cause and there's disinterest, but we saw something different in those young people, and they were not, you know what is the most beautiful thing about it? They were not drawn because of what we had financially or physically.
Right.
And that for me was a demonstration. Nobody could accuse them of following money. Nobody could accuse them of being seduced by, opulence and great possessions. They were there, they served, they volunteered. Sometimes the three of us gone limping home and they are there. Bought
Right.
their beds in the office,
Yeah.
brought beds in the office, and they would take turns who was sleeping and who would wake up. Incredible, incredible young people. And it is for us now to harness that energy, um, to take this country forward. I think the next generation of voters are looking to us for examples. They're looking to us. What this says to me more than anything else is that people want change, and a lot of our young people were moved by, I think, what we presented to them. And so I'm really excited about the future. When I stepped out and started Forward Guyana, oh man, it was, the comments, the
Yeah.
criticism.
Yeah.
Then when I decided, you know what, we're gonna coalesce with the People's Movement of Impact. Oh,
What? You ever heard of hip 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 hooray? What was the meaning of that?
What?
Hip 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 hooray! I remember that
Yeah,
as a
well,
kid.
yeah, well, that was a cheer.
Is it needed right now? I think we
No,
Not yet.
deserve.
isn't there like a button somewhere here that we could do
You know
that?
what I mean? I
But
think we need a hooray, man. It's an hooray
and
moment.
no, it is a hooray moment. I know a lot of
Yes,
people were hoping for a quack 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 quack, but
exactly. And it's a.
the righteous
Yes,
is never forsaken.
we're listen. I'm sitting there. I'm telling you guys, it's a hip hip hip, and I need it from all of you people on this live. It's
Don't
a
we not
hip
gonna
hip hip.
behind here, buddy. You gotta have cheers. No,
People
but
need to
guys,
understand how
it,
grateful
it
we
is
are. Yes.
it is we're just full of gratitude, full of gratitude, but at the same time aware,
Right.
because we're aware that there are people coming out of the circumstances who are crushed and who
Yeah.
um are upset with the results, and that is perfectly understandable. But winning looks different for different people, and
Oh
coming from
wow.
a place where, yeah, absolutely, you know, I'll never forget. My father told me something, and I'll share with you. It has taught me that my only competition is myself. And he used the parable of it was a race of runners, and he said that if you run in a group, let's say your personal best is 20 seconds. If you run in a group and you beat that group and you come in at 23 seconds, you have not necessarily won.
No.
Right? You would have won. You would have won even if you got third, if you came in
Right.
at 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you see what? And that
Yeah.
stuck with me. That stuck with me. And so this is a moment of gratitude. And I noticed people talking about one seat and so on. One seat is all it takes.
That's all it takes.
It is all it takes. A group of people have always been the only thing that God needs to create change. Right? It's always a remnant. And so you don't come and rain on this parade over here. I'm sure
But
you're
this seat is not
as
our
in
seat.
operation going over. So if you want to go, you go over there and you do that. But let us focus and enjoy the moment of gratitude, because when this day is over, our shoulders are going back to the wheel.
That's right. That's right. I like that. Darwin, what are your views on the presence of the involvement of youths in our? Of course, we had Rich, we had Deshaun, and so many, but the
Deshaun,
impact,
Brian, oh my God.
they were there, man. All of them.
Nigel, it's
Uh,
important to know why they were there.
exactly.
People chose us, and I'm not tooting our own horn here because they felt, like you said earlier, like they found someplace they can call home. We are not the typical politicians. We have not been carried ourselves like the typical politicians because, like we said, like we've always been championing, politicians are in the business of selling you a dream just to get their votes. And the votes that we have gotten and the seats that we are now championing, we should also let the Guyanese know that this is not a forward Guyana seat. This seat is for the people. This is a win for the
The
people.
Yes.
people's seat.
This is the
Absolutely.
people's seat.
Yeah.
The
And
people's
we are
seat.
going to go there to do the people's work. We're not
I
here
like that.
to crave in power. We are here to act as servants for the people. And they would have voted forward Guyana into parliament, and we will go there and do their work.
And you know
And
what,
the
what's
young
good, what's
people
good,
that are
Darwin?
around us, answering the
Yeah, go
question
ahead.
specifically, and the names that you mentioned, I can still hear them call my phone. Man, I want you to come with me. I want you to come with me because your story, man. When people hear your story, man, like I, I'm talking here and I can still hear their voices on the phone because they feel that love, that fatherly figure around me. And like I told you earlier today, offline, Francis, I want to find a time, and I'm hoping that the other two of you, will squeeze it out too, and go back. We must be able to go to every one of these communities and continue the promise by making sure that we hold their hands and set up cooperations and help them. This is not We're not gonna. We people must understand. We're not here just to oppose. We are here because we promise to be a voice for them. So if the
Right.
government puts something out that benefits the people, we are going to support it, and we're going to sit there and make sure that if policies are there that they can benefit from and they're not benefiting, we will help them to make sure they align themselves to benefit. Because at the end of the day, that is why they trust us to be a leader, because they realize we bring something different, not just this typical because we're in the opposition. Every policies that's put forward by a government, we're going to oppose. We're going to oppose if it doesn't benefit the people.
Yeah,
Don't you agree,
and
Nancy?
yeah, sure. And if I may, there's something that some of the youth that have said to me that really resonated, and I'll never forget it. They said that they love us because and that's why social media is so important. When they see our faces, they can read us, and I know that this what they call the Generation X and next. They read through us, and they said they have seen genuine people. When they see Francis out in the open, when they see Richie doing what he's doing, they saw people who be, as I said, themselves. And they said, listen, you know what I love about y'all? You are just authentic people. You aren't fake. So when you come to speak to us, we knew that you're real. And we have so many cases when people said, as they spoke to us, as they say, your hair would grow, your skin would grow. I know it would grow somehow. Um, but they felt that. They felt that truthfulness about who we were. And that is what I know we shall maintain. So the youth saw authenticity, they saw genuineness, and that is what appealed to them. Hence, they began to work. And sometimes I stand back and said, do they realize that they're working as volunteers here? Because I kept on, is there some arrangement we have to meet at the end of this situation here? Amanza, you've been in the city, you and Darwin, of course, been at headquarters, I call it. You have seen them. And I'm wondering, did Amanza tell them something? Would we have to give a count later
I
on?
can tell you what we
They,
told them.
they were just pushing, man.
I can tell you what we promised them. We promised them no different than we promised every other person we came in contact with. We are going to fight for a Guyana that you don't have to be friends with a politician to benefit.
Right, right.
We are going to fight for a Guyana that every Guyanese will be able to be a part of the success and the wealth. And
Yeah,
that right there was the motivation factor for them and everyone else, not any personal benefit. Because we're not going to govern for ourselves, not only for the people that vote for us. We're going to govern for everyone that voted and didn't vote it. Because come 2030, I'm sure the number is going to be in their favor a lot more. And I know it will.
yeah, yeah.
This right here, go ahead.
There's a lot of work that has to be done. And so in the coming days, I want people to stay tuned because we are going to be unveiling some citizen-centric work.
Yes.
Y'all know that we say this all the time. Y'all put your shoulders to the wheel. This country is not going to change unless we change it, unless we are able to make a change. And it's important that we understand that we are no longer youths.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So for us, it's almost a solemn duty to make sure
Yeah.
that we equip the next generation and pass the baton on to them, so that we can say that we made a contribution. I want people to stay tuned. There are a couple of things that we're going to be doing. A lot of the flaws that we have seen in the system, we're not prepared to gripe about them for another 5 years. We're
Right.
actually going to do something about it. You know
I
what I've
love that.
started with, gentlemen, is that you never have a guarantee of the results unless you're involved in skullduggery. But what you have control over is your effort.
Yes.
And God, the universe, Yahweh, only requires that we plant the seed. And so we're going to be doing work that we want the citizens to come alongside us with. You see that voters list? We're going to tackle it. You see GCOM? GCOM will
Yes.
have to be reconfigured because we are not going another 5 years with this foolishness that we
No.
saw And this is what we're telling people. This is a moment for us to have respite, to say thank you. But tomorrow, the hard work begins. And this is not only parliamentary work. I want to make that very clear because remember, they would call parliament once every 90 days.
That's right.
They would call parliament once every 90 days. And now more than ever, I don't see them reverting to any um, constant parliament. They come, they get their money, and they go. So a lot of the work will also be extra parliamentary. All
Yes.
right? Because what you have had, and we've been saying to people, you got to pay attention to the Commonwealth people who they've registered. Listen, people got to give
Yes.
answers. This PPP government, they have to tell us how many Commonwealth citizens are here, how many Brazilians, because we're getting the report from Region 9,
Yes, we are.
hundreds, if not thousands of them,
Are
pouring
they
across
only holding an ID card for the
voting
purpose of voting?
and only holding an ID card for the purpose of voting. And so the genuine, the authentic Guyanese, their vote is being thwarted and frustrated by the machinations. Look, gentlemen, I am saying that we warned, we spoke, we raised the cry. We did. And so
Yeah.
so 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 we are with clean hands in that regard
Yes.
because we discharge the burden that was on us. And so come tomorrow, the real work begins. And I want citizens to understand that we got some tough days and months and years ahead, because one thing I could bet you with the PPP is that they will be triumphalists. You will see their supporters up in people's faces. You will see
Yes.
hubris and ego that you have never seen before. And it will take a great deal of self restraint and self control. But we are strong, we are resilient, and we are confident of the victory good over evil.
Imagine one.
Yes.
I want to add to what you're saying that some of the concern that is expressed or was expressed at the poll, whether good or bad, people should understand that that is 5 years in making. So the outcome of the election is what would have transpired for the last 3 years, 4 years. So we now have to spend the next 4 years undoing some of those questionable acts. I'm trying to be very careful with my words here. So I'm saying that because people are of the view that the election is only on the day of election. The next election starts now. So if they're going to be rigging, they're planning how to rig the next election and putting things in place now, which is why if you find an ID card being used in 2030, it wasn't printed on September 1st.
Hmm.
That mechanism was in place. And I am not going to hold myself responsible, and I don't think any one of us here should either, because some of that inner working predated our movement involvement in the
Definitely.
election. So our work start now because there's no excuse come 2030. People are going to be prepared to hold us now responsible.
And Darwin, and Amanza, what is very critical to our existence as Guyanese is facing certain realities and further trumpeting the call that Guyana must now be controlled by the power of the people.
Correct.
Politicians never outnumber people. And I said this to Barrett and said to him until I die. Politicians never outnumber people. As long as people understand the power they have, it doesn't matter what strategy they use, the people always have power once they use it efficiently. We've been calling for months. I've been calling for years for Guyanese to recognize that, hey, there's a problem. Manzi said it in the highest chamber of power in this country. If you do not, as a politician, recognize that the PPP would have been importing foreign nationals, but they missed a little. It's not a loophole. It's a very important instruction in law that they must be intentional in their desire to reside in the country. You're not just some to work. You must say you want to be here to live. Now we have some folk who just came here. and just work because they came to work. Coming to work on a project is not an announcement of being domiciled in a nation. It's an arrangement to have employment.
Correct.
Now, viewers, you all know how we process, right? For Guyana movement are intellectually astute people. We ain't stupid, so we know how to talk and when to talk. So while Irfan is chirping nonsense on the other side, let's have a sensible conversation. You, the law of this country is clear. You can't just say I came to work and I spent a year here, so I'm ready to work. That's not what it says. There must be the intention to make Guyana your home. Now it's vague because how do I prove somebody wants to make Guyana their home? If 200 of us a Manzer are living in the same address, what does that speak to my intention? Now rip through it now, take it from there.
No, it says obviously that there is no intent to remain. Because when you talk about domicile, there are a number of elements that have to be fulfilled before you could be domiciled.
Exactly.
And so they don't meet the criteria. And this is why I'm saying that we're going to have to do a lot of work, a lot of civics. And somebody messaged me via Messenger to ask, how can we become involved with the Forward Guyana movement?
Wow.
Say, go to forwardguyana.com and sign up. And one of our staff will call you. They will screen you because, of course, you have to be screened to be a member. And um, and we'll take it from there. The website is up. It's been up for some time. So just go there and you follow the link for signing up, forwardguyana.com, and you'll be in the system and on our contact list. But coming back to the issue of domicile, this is where civics and civic education is important, right? This is why, gentlemen, the case that Forward Guyana movement candidate Crystal Fisher brought in the High Court is so important. And I should let you know it comes up for hearing next week at the appeal level because we, of course, filed an appeal. And so it has implications for all that we're talking about. Um, I think people have to understand just our level of commitment to educating people. We benefited from being educated and of having parents and surroundings that taught us the importance. No, it's www.forwardguyana.com.
ForwardGuyana.com, right? Yeah.
You gotta correct that. And just
Mhm.
the importance of education and information, because we always say something: informed citizens make informed decisions. And those who don't know will always be at the mercy of those who know. So make sure you
That's
are
right.
informed, right?
That's right. And
So
that's so
I'm so
important.
excited about a lot of what will happen over the next few days in terms of what we will be unrolling. And I can say this, gentlemen, we can only offer. We cannot compel. We cannot
Right.
force. We ain't got money for bribe you and tell you come. We don't.
No, no, no.
so so
We're
we
not
cannot
here.
yeah, we can't compel any Jews. We could simply
Correct.
make the offering there, and citizens
Correct.
who want to be active citizens who want to participate in the building of this country will have to avail themselves of the resources first to make this work. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you look, and Darwin, your numbers, man. So I know how to deal with two of you. If you look at the cash grant, because I did my research as you would. Um, if you look at the cash grant, the data from it, the number of persons who would have applied and so on, it's about 612,000, somewhere in that margin. So we can guarantee that there are 612,000 Guyanese
So let me ask you a
adults.
question, Nigel. While you're on that number, so you're saying
Mhm.
all these foreign nationals, as we call them, they while they were interested in voting, they weren't interested in the cash grant.
They got it too. That's a part of the deal as far as I'm concerned. That's where I'm going with this. Because as long as you possess the ID card, remember you took your ID card, and then they say the ID card is enough, you have to get more data from you. Where do you live? What's your phone number? What's that? Get your updated photograph and these things. Then they use that information or that data to reach out to people to lobby. But we saw the number of votes that were cast, 430 something thousand, I think it would have been. So over 100,000 Guyanese said we don't want any money from you. That's what PP is telling
That,
us. We are so
that's
well
correct.
off that we said, listen, we don't need your money. Over 100,000 of us say we don't want any money from you. No problem. Now, with that being said, how do we appeal to 612,000 people just about this adults? And it'll be more come 2030 now, because remember, 18-year-olds would be added to the system. How do we appeal to these people in the midst of such a vile and wretched system? And that's all I can call them. Darwin, you've been a first-hand victim of this. Many of us would have been. How do you, in your mind, think that you can appeal to these people to say, listen, don't deal with the PPP? They're dangerous. What
Nigel,
are your views?
Nigel, the answer is in Forward Guyana, and we've been putting it out there. That going back to what Amanda said, is just find a way to get the message to the people. Let me tell you why I said this. On election day, I was riding through Sapphire. I think I told you this, or Amanda. And I rolled up on three young men, and I said, "You guys voting today?" They said, "No." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because." They said, "Because why should I? I voted David Granger, and he failed us. PPP now failed us, and I'm calling it for what it is. And the others that are there now, I see the momentum, but I still don't know what they're going to do for us." So I sat there and I told them some of the policies we have. I can literally see them looking in their wallet for their ID card so they can go vote.
Wow.
So it's not so much what else needs to be done, it's how much work we now have to do to make sure our messaging reaches every single man and child over the next 4 years. Because the policies that we have in Forward Guyana are policies that will change the life of every man and child. Our uphill challenge is to find a way to get that message to every community from region 1 to region 10. It's not so much of
Yeah.
changing it. It's a matter of helping it to reach. Because what we were fighting against are Goliaths in the room, not really with better policies, but with a lot of money to create this. This guy was, I was standing with him a couple of days ago, and I give him an example. I said, you could be lineman in the seawall and hear the crowd up the road. Not that the food is good, not that the music is better, but the crowd is there. So
Right.
momentum sometimes are not really doesn't really have the answers. It's just the momentum. And me, I've always called a spade a spade.
Right.
But this is the reality. Compare the policies. Many of the manifestos today that you're seeing out there are manifestos
Say
that
it.
we can without
Say it.
reservation say are copied from ours. So these are not thinkers that created these ideas or think that these are the things that these young people need. These are people that created this. I mean, I remember being in a particular room. I'm not going to, we're past election now. And one of the presidential candidates of Guyana right now said 15% is the max public service can get. And I'm now seeing 50% publicly. So was that really offered for motivating the people to motivate the people, or was that really offered because it's a reality? You see where I'm going with this? So my thing is, I believe that our movement should spend as much time, starting from Amanda said, day one, finding a way to get into every one of these communities, so people understand that Forward Guyana is not here to sell dreams. We're not here to buy votes. We're not here to create a red, blue, or green or yellow wave. We're here to put policies in place so each Guyanese will benefit from the Guyana that we're trying to build.
Yeah. And Darwin, when you spoke to the manifestos and saw me copied, I found it, I had to laugh honestly, because Irfan needs a lot of help. Months ago, when the People Movement announced we would be a part of the electoral processes and so on, and I was interviewed on AGP TV news, I said that this is not about seeking power, it's about responsibility.
Correct.
On our campaign trail, we kept saying it, this is not about power, it's about responsibility. Would you believe that Irfan, when he spoke to Travis in his most aggressive and idiotic manner, told Travis, listen, this is not about power, this is about responsibility. I said, Irfan is inspired. Man said Irfan is inspired.
So they like the word Forward Guyana. They like the fact it's a responsibility.
Oh yes,
They like
forward
the fact
together.
that they
Hello.
like the fact. No,
Hello.
let's go through. They like the fact that they can do more in housing where they can stop building them in water. They'll lower the interest rate. The
Oh my
electric factor is
God.
an after school program. So it's our job now in Parliament to make sure that that wasn't just a promise
It, everyone
on
was
campaign
inspired, Darwin.
Darwin, they were so inspired that yesterday they erected a monument of the wheel.
of the
Well,
wheel.
listen,
Ah, I was like, yeah.
we got our props. We got our props.
I'm saying, you know what's amazing? They will try their best to relegate us. They'll try their best to ignore us. I mean, I saw people do gymnastics trying to pretend like we were not a part of this and that what we did was not historic. But I tell people when you move, when you're internally driven,
Yeah.
externalities don't matter.
No.
Right? And so understand that you're not going to break us. You're not going to discourage us. We are here for the people of Guyana. And we
Yeah.
are so grateful. Again, I just want to repeat that um, we offered ourselves up, and it took courage, it took strength. Um, and we're here, and we're just so grateful. And
And
we're
we
not
could not have done it
Yeah.
without people.
we could not have been anywhere here without the people. And I'm getting my inbox is flooded. I am glad my vote counted. I am glad that I was a part of the change. I am glad that we have a voice in Parliament. I am glad, and just the joy. But we have to stop and acknowledge that in the midst of it, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, we
Yeah.
were left out of 3 regions. GCOM's guidance was so clear. And so we understand just how that could be devastating. But in the midst of all of this, we persist and we persevere. And our message to the people of Guyana is let us persist, let us persevere. Forward Guyana is here to be a voice for you. We pledged that we will fight for every Guyanese, even those that didn't vote for us,
That's right.
even those that
So,
didn't
Mans, I'm
vote.
going to put you on the spot here today.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to put you, Nigel, on the spot. While we have 496,000 people viewing, do you pledge to honor the policies that we would have set out and to argue those policies?
But this is why
Absolutely.
it's a contract. This is why we didn't put out a manifesto.
Hey, we could
Right.
fight each other on live, you know.
You
See,
understand?
we are saying to the people, we are holding ourselves, now that you would have elected us, we are going to hold ourselves accountable. Ourselves. So if we fail, we
Contract.
just look in the mirror and say, you know what? The people didn't fail us. We
Absolutely.
failed them.
And this is why we did a contract. This is why the three of us, we sat at the table and we appended our names,
Correct.
our
And they
signatures
can hold us to that contract.
to that
And they can
agreement.
hold us to that contract.
And so, it is in my public service and in my political journey this far, you have to have a core set of beliefs that you have. If not, you'll be blown by every wind of doctrine. You
Yeah.
have to be driven by something that when the lights go down, when the crowd fades, when people are not there to clap and to sing your praises, something that says you've got to get up and you got to go again. And if you do not have that in this game, you'll find yourself crossing the floor, switching sides, being convenient,
Hmm.
etc.
So
Because
sorry.
no,
Just
go
so
ahead.
you know why I asked the question. Because
Uh-huh.
people today are of the notion that election is over and the fight is over. So I wanted to reassure all of our viewers and
It just
all of
begun.
Guyana that we
This
are
has just
committed
begun.
to continue with the same intensity that we would have, or not even the same more,
This has
to
just
fight for them.
begun.
It has just begun.
This has just begun. And the people who cast a vote, they are now stakeholders in this too.
Correct.
That's
You
right.
know,
And let's
and
not forget.
It is their
Uh,
seat.
yeah, listen, we can't forget Region 10 has also got a regional seat, by the way, in the Regional Democratic Council.
and
That's
Region
important.
4. And I
And
think
Region 4.
Region 4
And,
too.
and 4.
Yay.
So You are in the decision-making circle, even at the lower tier of
Good.
governance.
Good.
But before we leave, of course, you're not a preacher, so I have to preach today, right? But before we go, there's something very important we need to touch on, and that is the different culture that we bring to our political space. That's for Ghana movement, by the way. Um, there's one seat in the House of Assembly. Let me just show this image here because it's important for us to speak to. And as you know me said, I'm the big brother, right? But I want to show Guyanese something, and we can speak to this. So you see, there's 36 seats, unbelievably so, in reference to the use of nationals. 36 seats for the government, PPP. 16 seats for main opposition. 12 seats. That's for Win. 12 seats for APNU, and 1 seat for Forward Ghana Movement. So there's some logical expectation. People say, okay, there are 3 faces before me. Who goes to Parliament? What happens? What happens? And social media can become a space. Hey, let me wear my apostolic hat now. Let me put on the hat of the preacher here now. It can become a space where people begin to suggest, listen, Darwin should go, no, Amanda should go, no, Nigel should go. And then you have this, you have this. And the more you respond to it, the more energy is given to that. Here's what we can say to you with all certainty. None of the 3 of us before you here ever once argued about anything where position was concerned. It has never been our nature. That's why we said we're family. We're saying, listen, like Darwin and I say, listen, sis, and the other say, Amanda, that's it. Because we recognize that there's a forerunner here. And there's someone who would have been in that space and who needs to have that time not to answer to any upper tier of leadership before she speaks what she wants to speak. We're saying, no, you speak. Have a space about you're free to speak in the House Assembly. And so we do not have it in Forward Ghana Movement. Any hint of saying, if I don't go to war and if you go to war, no. What we're saying is this: we've proven to you that we've been able to have intellectual, healthy, and sensible discussions about what happens to the future of the movement, what happens to the movement as a whole when we campaigned, and that the same will be done here now. I can assure you, and I know Darwin feels no differently about this, neither does Amanda. We will have, and I will ensure as the big brother in this room here now, that it never becomes a part of our nature. Whether we had 36 seats in House Assembly like the PPP, it would never be part of our nature to do it, because it is not who we are. You see, who you are always comes out naturally. That's just a fact. You could pretend all you want, but who you are will always demonstrate itself naturally. So under natural and normal circumstances, we could have said, listen, if I don't have 40% of the leadership, then I'm not joining you. And Darwin could have said, well, if I don't have 60%, I'm not going to do this. We never had a percentage argument. What we're saying is that we are a family and we're going to represent the nation as a family. So with that said, as we progress to the House of Assembly, we expect representation, not bickering for position. And we know that we can be represented by anybody. That's why we feel a team that is strong enough to do so. Okay, but our presidential candidate, our leader, Amanza, has done and proven herself to be one who is a true patriot. And we will have meetings that have sensible conversations being held. And thereafter, we shall certainly know, and you will certainly see in the House of Assembly, that it speaks to the true love of our nation. Now, I don't normally talk this much when I'm with my brother and sister, right? But I need to get that clear from my perspective and from that of the spirit of the movement. Once I see fighting, I know there's trouble. And there's no fighting, so there's no trouble on this side of the fence. All right? No trouble is here. So we will have the conversations, and you will see the results of those conversations that will always speak to the well-being of the movement. That's why I call this broadcast, we named this broadcast, team that future focused. Elections forward. That's what we're about. And finally, before you speak to this, I see Randy's in the room. I bring Randy on the platform, another young general, I call him. Listen, I had a meeting with the European Union observers from Region 10, and a political scientist. She is someone in the European territories, of course. But she said to me, as a political scientist, and in all her years of working elections and going around the world and so on, she has never come across a Forward Ghana movement. In that, she said, in 6 weeks, you campaign. So she said, what about your rallies? And how did you? I said, we had no rallies. She said, how in the world could you not have a major rally? And you can gain a seat after 6 weeks in this Ghana, in this space, because she knew of the PNC and PPP, she knew of that dynamic. And the lady said from Europe, do not stop. Let nothing deter you, because what you have done is unheard of. That's what she told me. And that's why I tell all Guyanese, if somebody from another territory of this world could tell you that what they saw is a political scientist they've never seen before, and we should not stop, how could you tell me that position could make me stop anything or make us stop the engine from moving? The wheel will turn. The wheel shall turn. So Amanza and Darwin, I don't know if you're in studio yet. I don't see you on camera.
Nigel, I added a little bit to what you just said. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Randolph,
People need
you're
to
live.
understand that whoever is in Parliament, what is more important, whenever they're in Parliament, is that each one of us will be representing the people and what this movement stands for, not
Right.
their personal egos or their personal, personal egos. So
We don't have that over here.
whenever they see it is going to be something that's decided among the three of us. So they shouldn't sit there and wonder who goes first, who goes second, because they will be represented no different than we have represented them on the campaign trail and the promise we would have put forward.
Yeah.
Because what
You mean to the
I see
Manza?
someone saying,
this win.
sorry, Darwin, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Amanda.
No. I was saying that somebody was texting me to say if in 6 weeks you could get one seat, in 5 years you could get 25.
Right, because what we did, Amanda, we didn't win a seat. I want this to be a soundbite. We did not win a seat. What we won was hope. The hope, the kind of hope that the impossible can become possible. You there?
Yeah.
I think someone's getting a lot of feedback. I think it's
maybe Randy. Yeah. Randy just came since Randy has some other device around. The tech man is here. The tech. Randy, welcome to our platform. Before you speak, Amanda, what are your thoughts on what I would have spoken to as you say, big brother? Listen, give me respect as big brother here now, please. I think make them believe it. Unmute Amanda. What are your thoughts?
Randy, are you hearing us?
Why are you smiling? You say anything?
I'm hearing. I just had to mute my mic because I believe that my mic was giving that feedback.
Okay. You muted Amanda.
I was saying, Darwin, mute yours if it's not muted because I hear feedback.
Yeah, Darwin, mute yours as well, please. Right. So, Amanda, tell me your thoughts. Unmute. Tell us your view. As I said, please allow me to be big brother for 5 minutes. Don't just let's play along with it, please.
Me or Randy? I spoke so much already.
No, in reference to we know we're going to Parliament. And what I said in reference to, we don't have the spirit of where we fight for anything.
But that goes without saying. I didn't feel the need to. I didn't feel the need to add anything to it.
But thank you.
I think we are pretty sound people, and one of the things that we have never fought for is position. I think we understand purpose, and when you understand purpose,
that's good.
It's different. It's different. I think one of the things that we've been able to leverage amazingly is our strengths. There's something that I'm strong at that you let Darwin is like a man's. You need to take care of that because that is you. And then we said, Darwin, you're up because this. And then we need to break up the whole baby party, Nigel. Please come through. So I think we have a healthy understanding of each other's strengths.
Yeah.
We've learned to leverage each other's strengths. We've learned to mitigate where any one of us is weak. And hey, in any movement, you have human beings. It's not going to be perfection. But once you have a group of people who want the best and who continue to want the best, not for themselves, but for the people of Guyana, it's always going to shine through. It's always going to shine through.
Excellent. Randy, you're here.
I got a question. How Randy find anyway? He just so jealous and thinking we can.
No, we said everybody must come on.
Hey, Randy,
Randy's the general, man. Randy's the tech general, you know.
I think Laura, Malika, and we want people to come on.
No, I'm just joking. You know I was joking. Randy's
And
my boy.
I was just cooking this little chicken and potato with tomato paste, and it's doing no
So you were
cooking.
making chicken stew, Randy. Is that what it was?
I gotta make it think the fancy, sauteed
right.
vegetable.
Chicken and tomato sauce.
You over there jealous, like, I gotta come get a little of that famous passing right now. It's understandable. Floor is yours.
But yes, I'm happy that we are able to have this conversation now. Uh, Over the last 2 months, we've definitely put in some good work, and I was speaking with someone who had the same sentiment that given the limited budget, the limited time, um, and just the ability to mobilize people from around the seven regions
Yeah,
that we invested in, and still, like you said, Apostle, thousands of Guyanese saw this little thing that we were able to put out and said, yes, we believe in that. And that for me is worth its weight in gold. And I only see us moving up from here.
right.
The wheel shall roll forward. Yeah,
Thank you, bro. Thank
I'm
you.
I
excited. I'm
You
excited.
gotta go by the
I'm
roundabout
excited
in
about it.
Region 3 and take a photograph.
we need a photograph of that
Did
wheel,
you see
Randy.
that wheel?
It's me, Wheel.
We inspire. We inspire, man. We can't help it.
Oh my gosh.
But
Randy, the floor is
Randy,
still yours, brother. You can play catch
uh,
up. I'm giving back Randy the floor.
right. Randy is one of the youths involved in this right here. Tell us, and
Be
you've done this so many
careful.
times in reference to our update and so on, but now the dust has settled, you're here, you have a chance to reflect on what would drive Randy to be so committed as a youth in this nation to Fort Ghana movement, because it really speaks volumes to the way in which you guys work.
Just a point of order.
Yes.
He's not a youth. Don't
Yes.
let.
When I cut my hair up and I take off these things, I know I look young, right?
Just for
Right?
men. Now you
Right?
see, now you don't.
Right.
Ah,
But a passport is already, so I'm not a youth.
oh man.
Right? So, but I will say this though, the opportunity to work on the campaign. I have a very unique perspective because I have been working with Amanza before,
Okay.
right? Through her time in the PNCR and as an MP, and so I would have a different perspective on how everything would have been rolled out and how everything played out. And so I messaged her and I said to her, I really admire your courage and your boldness. And it is an inspiration for people like me and many other. I have gotten so many messages from young professionals who say, look, me and my office and my family, we supporting y'all. We want something different. We tired. And they always reference that it is such a refreshing thing to listen to a man's in parliament. I think that, of course, was a lot of the driving factor. But on a personal note, I've said this to her before that I do believe in her. I believe in her vision, and it was a no-brainer for me. And so, putting my shoulders to the wheel wasn't a question. It wasn't a whether or not I should. Once this was the decision that she made, I was, when we starting, what we gotta do. And so, yeah, that is how I'm here.
Yeah, and you've certainly done well, man. I'm impressed, and you're more youthful than many I know. So you have to be classified as that. 40 is the new 20. You represent that for sure.
Yeah.
But we have an engine, I should say, and in not too many days, Guyanese will see that Ford Ghana movement is not just an idea. It's an ideology that speaks highly to the power of people and what people can really do. We have Nicholas, for example. Nicholas Chesney Amanza was chosen to be our agent at GCOM, one of the youngest. And the poise with which Nicholas handled himself in these processes, it's I have to spend a whole hour with Nicholas for him to really dilute for me and dissect for me what was going on in his mind. What I do know, though, is that when Nicholas saw certain discrepancies and the way GCOM handled it, the pain because I saw photographs, and I did psychology and so on, so I can read it. I could see this young man standing there, probably saying, "What is happening to my country? What?" With that, Amanza, the EU observer asked a question to me that's very, very important. She said, again, her years of experience. She asked me a question. Is it that people in Region 10 don't know how to vote? I said, why did you say that? She said, because of the number of rejected ballots. Now, these are the Guyanese asking, and people talk about free and fair. These are people from another nation saying that this is unusual. How do you tell them that over 2 or 3 thousand people didn't know how to vote? This is serious stuff we're dealing with here. And so speak to Nicholas and me, please, Amans, in reference to the role he played. We have to. Because he was the key point for us.
I want Nicholas to come on, actually. So I'm trying to get him. But listen.
See if you can. Yes, that'd be good.
Listen, you know what's the funny thing about it? They can't find these votes. The actual ballots can't be found. The
so they're spoiled, but they can't be found.
Cannot be found. So you're seeing spoiled votes recorded on the SOPs, but you can't find the physical ballot to ascertain whether or not it was indeed spoiled. Right? And so people are surmising that in Linden, Fort Guyana got much more votes than is actually recorded because we can't find the spoiled ballots. You know, and that is a major problem. And this, let me tell you, the next 5 years, I'm putting everybody on notice. We are going to be relentless about reforming these elections. It is a crying shame.
Yes, it is.
Jamaica could have elections and in 36 hours, they know the results. They give their concession and their acceptance speeches and they move on. We have to build integrity. And Jamaica, by the way, has one of the best electoral commissions in the English-speaking Caribbean. In fact, Jamaica had sent via, I'm not sure if it's CARICOM or one of the EU or one of the ABCU countries, they had sent a Jamaican for technical assistance to GCOM. And they continue to resist these changes.
Let's not forget, Amanza, sorry, I don't know to interject me and speak, but this is important here. Let's not forget that Jamaica had applied for the post of CEO position, and Claudette rejected him. One who was in that same system for over 12, 13 years. He said, no, we don't want you, give us Vishnu. Sorry, but I have to say that to Guyanese today.
No, it's true. It's true. And, you know, people are talking about biometrics, but I want to explain something. Biometrics will only validate who is on the list. We have to get to who don't have a right being on the list in the first place. And so when people say, oh, we're calling for biometrics, this is beyond biometrics. Because if I bring in 5,000 Bangladeshis, Pakistanis, Indians, and Nigerians, their name is going to be in there. And so we have to understand that there's a difference between legality and legitimacy.
Wow.
And we're going to be doing a lot of education, a lot of civics in the coming days. So y'all stay tuned and you all look sharp, because I know people are asking, so how do we maintain the connection, etc.? We are a party now, and we will have our own press conferences. We will have our spokespersons on various matters coming out. So stay tuned, because you know, we might be new to this, but we're true to this.
Yes. I love that. I love that. Go ahead, Randy.
I just to circle back. I remember when we were trying to get our list together before nomination day, and I remember Amanza making the decision to make Nicholas Chesney our elections agent. I think she asked my opinion because the day before I spent about 2 or 3 hours with him, and we were going through some of the election issues and going through the booklet that GCOM would have given us. And after spending those hours with him, I could have confidently said to Amanza, that is the young man that we need. well informed on the issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to go through all of the material that was given to us by GCOM, and you know, position himself as the person that we need to have in that position. And so I admire him, a young engineer, and I think that is a sort of that's a sort of young people that we need. This country needs to step forward. And I want to say, I say this in the context of the idea of fear of entering politics in Guyana and how it has kept the best and the brightest away from parliament and decision-making forums, which makes no sense. You want the best and the brightest to be the ones making decisions for our country. And
Right.
so we end up getting politicians of all manner of level of comprehension even. And so because we have a politics of vindictiveness, and so young professionals, smart young people are saying no. And so I'm really, really pleased that we were able to attract some of those very bright young people to be part of our campaign. And I hope that we have a situation in Guyana where they feel comfortable jumping into the ring, jumping in and putting their shoulders to the wheel in
Yeah.
that regard.
Look, the man there, Randy.
Mhm.
Nicholas is right here. Nicholas, come close to the screen for me, please.
Praise
But
God.
you are
Can you
here.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Somebody just mute the microphone for me, please. Somebody has a device in the background. Nicholas, you here? The,
Yes.
the last man standing reference to when the campaign was over. You were there. Tell us about your experience, please. And I must, on behalf of all Guyanese, all members of the People's for Guyana movement, people who have VPAC, all of us together, you have represented this nation very well. Um, Tell us about your experience, and please appreciate or accept our gratitude to you, Nicholas.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to say I'm not in a moving car. That's why I don't have on my seatbelt. So don't be worried. um, this experience was amazing.
Hey, Nicholas, how old are you again?
I'm young. I'm young. I'm gonna be 35 in a couple of days. So yeah, I'm getting up there. I'm still young. No, but on a serious note, this experience was amazing. I'm so thankful and grateful to be a part of this team, the Power Guyana movement. Um, and I like the fact that we're calling it a movement and not a party. We're not here to party. I mean, we're having fun and everything, right? But this is a movement and it's here to stay. And the experience so far was amazing. Trust me, it's amazing. We see a lot of room for improvement in the election process with GCOM. We see a lot of room for education, spreading the message, ensuring that the Guyanese people is educated, and we see a lot of room for us to step in. And I always say that we have 65 seats in the House of Assembly, and we got one. Some other parties wanted all 65, right? But
Yeah, Nicholas, somebody may have called him so. But I just admire this young man and the way he functions, man.
So the reason why I
So
asked him how old is he again? So we went out on the campaign trail, and let me say this publicly. I asked him one day if he grew up with his grandparents. He said, "Why?" I said, "Dude, you have everything. If you want a piece of napkin, okay, hold on. You want a toothpick? Hold on. You want some mouthwash? Oh, hold on. I mean, if you just think about needing it, Nicholas has it folded up neat somewhere in his car.
yeah, yeah.
We got food. We didn't got spoons. Okay, hold on. I got some in the back. The guy. I mean, he's such a professional. We couldn't have. I don't think we could have done it without him.
Yeah, he
No.
is. You know, he's
Yeah.
incredible.
And
He's an
sacrifice a
electrical
man's
engineer. He's an electrical engineer by training, and
Wow.
and sacrifice 3 months of his
so
job,
so
no pay.
he took no pay leave to cut. This is this is so
Man.
amazing.
3 months.
Yeah,
He
we have
said,
Malika in the room.
Hi, everybody.
Uh, Well, hello to you as well.
Congratulations, everybody.
It's the
My, I
purple
mean,
for me. It's
yeah,
the
I'm
purple for
talking to my
me.
stuff. And I must say, gentlemen, I'll greet you after, but my lady, my founder leader, my female founder leader, my presidential candidate, congratulations again. I love you so much. We love you lots. If you're hearing an echo in the background, my mom is also listening to the live. But
Ah,
congratulations to the entire team, especially you, Madam Presidential Candidate, Mr. Prime Ministerial Candidate, Mr. Chairman. I love you all. And I'm excited. I took a while. I heard my name being called earlier. I took a while to join because, of course, Forward Guyana movement keeps moving and we have other things that we're dealing with. So, but I'm here now and I'm so excited about this.
right, right. I like your name calling. They say they're calling for the right reason, though.
Nigel,
Love
Nigel,
Ah,
did you hear how much you love Amanza?
yeah, I'm listening. Don't worry, I'm taking
He is,
notes. Don't
he,
worry
he
about
is like, I
Oh,
love
oh,
you so much,
oh,
so much, so
oh,
much.
what happened, man? What?
Nigel, I pay attention to details. Madam President, Madam, I love you so much. I wear the same color with you.
that.
Nigel,
Mr.
are you paying
Chairman,
attention? You see what's going on in this room, Nigel? Nicholas,
Mr.
thank you for
Chairman,
coming
I
back,
love
boy. Please,
you.
please, please say something good about me and Nigel. We're not feeling the love
Mr.
right now.
Chairman, I love you dearly. You're one of the persons in this campaign who has, and I mean this with all the love in the world, who has shown my strength. You've taught me patience, and
That-
everybody knows what I'm talking about. And I love you for teaching me patience. So there it is. Mr. Prime Ministerial candidate, I always tell him. He walks. The first time I met him, I was like, "But this is not this person who seems so like with so much bravado on, but he's a warm person. He walks with grace. He brings a light when he
Thank
comes.
you.
Man, I am so excited to be a part of this Forward Guyana movement family. Y'all have no idea. And Nicholas, who's younger than me, but he thinks he's my big brother. Yeah,
Right.
haha, haha.
He's an
But yeah,
old
it's
soul.
been an amazing ride. And I know the continued ride as the wheel continues to roll, it will be even more amazing. I am so appreciative because in all my years of working in politics, this is the first time I have learned so much. Things that I was not able to learn in years of politics, I've
Wow.
learned in 2 months, and I owe that to all of you. I feel so grateful. I feel a peace about everything, a calm about everything. So yeah, I know it's gonna no, it's gonna continue to be amazing. Randy, my work brother, I think he's off the call now, but my work brother, always supporting, always giving guidance, things that I may miss. He points out. I couldn't ask for a better team of people to work with and to learn from.
Thank you so much, Malika. And you're always as well a light and a very, very warm person. I think we had the best crop of youth to work with in the in this entire campaign. You made life so easy for us all. I know
Um,
Nicholas as well. Nicholas would have been functioning such a critical role when the recount was requested. Nick, when the requested recount, I know that you had to gather an army. Tell us about that experience because again, the campaign was over. They now needed to personnel for the recount, and Ford Guyana movement showed up again. Nicholas, what was that like?
You're gone.
Nick, why everybody keep knocking up Nicholas' internet?
He's there.
All right, so our presidential candidate can speak to that. A man said there was a call, just one call made. Listen, we need people to work for the recount. We didn't request the recount. We need people to work for the recount, and there you had it. From all over upper quarantine everywhere, they just started coming in.
And it was the most incredible thing. I'd go to the campaign office and there'd be people there. I'm like, who's this? Oh, you put out the call for volunteers. We're here. Oh my goodness. Salima and the data and oh, incredible. Um, people just showed up. People just showed up. We need how are we doing food for elections day? I am there and I'm seeing like just boxes of like trays and trays and pallets of food coming in. It was just the most uh incredible experience. People showed up. Salima, Nick, they spent 24 hours just up. Um, they come over to the office, get some rest and shower and head back. Mind blowing contributions by people. And we trust God that we will continue to vindicate their trust in us.
Yes.
And, we trust that the spirit with which this is started is never forgotten. You're dealing with human beings, issues will arise. But one of the things that I've seen that I appreciate deeply is our willingness to sit down and talk through the most uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
attitude of not going to social media and talking foolishness and feeling you could put people on blast. I've seen that culture destroy political parties. And I'm so happy that we have in our midst a group of mature people who, if there's a problem, they will deal with it internally first. I mean, there are issues that probably have not even gotten to mine and Nigel's attention because between Nick, Randy, Malika, they're like, no, don't bother them to people with this. We got to figure this out at this level. And
Yeah.
so, it's incredible. It really
People
is.
are asking to add Francis Bailey.
No, we can't add him. He has to
No.
join the stream.
He
Yeah,
has
it's
to
not
join
live.
through a
He has
link.
to join through the link.
Yeah.
And send him the
Have
Yeah.
you
link.
Right.
sent him a manza?
Yes, the link is in the group.
Yeah. Nicholas, I hope that why do you keep sabotaging your internet connection?
Can you hear me now?
We sorely can. Tell us about the
Nicholas, you
Yeah,
still
recount,
at
Nicholas. Go on
GCOM.
about the recount experience.
man, the recount it's amazing to see what's actually in the ballot box. it's Trust me, you see a lot of discrepancies, and then when you try to object to it, um, your objections is not valid. GCOM has the final say. At one point, the presiding officer, we were looking at a six-digit number. What's supposed to be a six-digit number, it was 5 digits because you couldn't see the first one. The ink barely made 3 dots, and the presiding officer was saying, "I can see it's an 8." I'm like, "No, ma'am, it's not an 8. Reject that ballot." And she was like, "Okay,
Ask
I'm going to
Nicholas.
reject it." So we have, I mean, these are good people, but you have to, if you're going to do it right the first time, right? And as we saw from the recount, you could not question a lot of things in the recount. We were there to ensure that we represent the Forward Guyana movement, and it was a good thing that we showed up because we got 6 votes that they robbed us, right?
Right.
So just imagine if we recounted the entire elections, what would happen? So um, we have work to do. We have so much work to do in Guyana, and I just want to say to the Guyanese people, don't lose hope. I know, and I was saying earlier, don't feel bad that you didn't vote for us. I mean, well, feel bad, but don't beat up yourself, right? You are slowly and daily by daily, you're going to realize who the Forward Guyana movement is and the people that we have here, quality people who will
Yeah.
represent you at all level, right? Regardless of where you came from, regardless of your social status, and these kinds of things. I'm so happy that we were able to acquire 1 seat. Imagine 65 seats in the National Assembly, and the PPP wanted all. Come on, I'm so thankful that we got one, and we're going to increase that next time around. So the
Yes.
experience was amazing. It was my first time. I'm so happy that um, I got so much support from the team. Trust me, teamwork is all about. We can't do nothing without. You can have money if you don't have people. You can't do anything still. So that's what
Right.
the Forward Guyana movement has. We have human resources, right? Human resource, and we're going to ensure that we build capacity. We're going to ensure that our people are trained, and as anyone who participated in the elections can confirm that the Forward Guyana movement is different, right? We make
Yeah.
reasonable objections, right? We are well behaved, we are respectful, and we're
Wow.
just different. We're just different. So those
Mostly
who
well
didn't
behaved.
support, mostly well behaved. Those who didn't supported us, don't beat up yourself too bad, but feel bad, feel a little bad, because we're coming again. Look out for us. We're going to represent you. We're going to ensure that the standard of living for all Guyanese is improved. And as I was saying earlier, for those abroad, get ready to come back home, renew your passport, and come back home, because Guyana is going to be a different country for all of us. No more longer will people wish that they were born in another country, right? We are going to ensure that this country is
Right.
for all of us. We're going to be happy to be here, and we're going to work together. So I'm so thankful that we had a well, peaceful election. It was peaceful. I don't know if it was free and fair, but it was peaceful, and
Right.
we're going to represent you people. We're going to represent you. So thank you, and God bless.
Yeah. Nicholas,
As
if, if,
we
if,
jump
if I
in
have
for a
my vote,
second here, as
uh,
sorry, I just want to jump in for a second here. As Nicholas is talking, I am beginning to go back as a child. You know, when you dream of really good things and really big things, and I'm remembering during the 6 or 7 heavy weeks of us campaigning, people would come in our comments sometimes, Randy and I, and say, "Oh, y'all just a bunch of dreamers," or "Y'all intelligent, but at the same time y'all stupid because you're not gonna get this, you're not gonna get that." And I just want people to hold on to what Chesney's saying, dream big, because you are accusing us of being dreamers, and look at it, we are in the National Assembly, so obviously dreaming is a good thing. So I just want to endorse Chesney's sentiments.
just my like a
Somebody
boy.
said, somebody said to me, the purple dot is the best looking purple dot I've ever seen. Because they sent me a photo of some a post by Guyana Electoral showing the seed distribution. Said that
Right.
purple dot, the best looking purple that I've seen in my life.
I think that, of course, I like to have a meeting later down. We need to start strategizing for local government. So
Ready?
we're
But
ready.
I was saying that if I have a chance to vote, Nicholas should be one of the commissioners at GCOM. Not all the 16 to go. We need the likes of Nicholas,
There,
man.
there.
There you go.
The eyes have
All
it.
in favor say aye.
The eyes
We
have
need
it.
new commissioners at GCOM. Nicholas could even be the chair because he do better than Claudette. Claudette was quiet for all these weeks. Claudette made two statements. One to say you should have peaceful voting, next to say, oh, we know. That's it. Imagine that. That's all we got from a chairperson. All we got from this lady. Y'all know I got lose it every so often, man. Two statements she made throughout this whole shebang. One is, listen, please vote peacefully. That's the 1st September. The next statement was, Aubrey, no. Go to a petition. That's it. Nicholas should be the chairperson of GCOM. He said more than Claudette herself. But Nicholas, I cannot help but applaud the quality of youth that we have in our movement and those who are volunteers. Again, I say to you all, my heart is easy when I think about this family, man. When we were in the Pomeroon River, we have, my son, Marvy said that this was the best vacation he's ever had. And it was spent campaigning, by the way. He said, Daddy, this is the best I've ever had. And as a little 10-year-old, 9-year-old boy, for him to say that, it means so much. He didn't cry one day to say he doesn't want to go anywhere. He wanted to go with us. And he is certainly excited about the prospects. Of course, as a child, he expects us to win. He said that didn't y'all win? Aren't you the prime minister? But that's the son. I'm happy that he can dream that big for us. Like I said, you dream big. You should have little small dreams. So to all, we extend heartfelt gratitude. It is certainly an experience that I cannot forget, and certainly we shall not all forget it. And we'll end by having our presidential candidate speak to us, because it's possible that this one purple dot will be speaking so loudly that the green dots, the blue dots, the red dots will be silenced in the House of Assembly, because we mean business, and we don't intend to play with the business of the people of this country, by no means. So, Madam Presidential Candidate, your words to the people of this nation, and we shall bid you all adios. I have to learn Spanish now and Chinese. Adios. I learned Mandarin everything today. Portuguese. Based on this Commonwealth National Card, I am learning everything possible, Barrett. I'm thankful you inspired me. Duolingo in y'all. I learn every possible language after these elections here. But I will campaign in every language for 2030. Don't worry.
Okay, listen. With us, what you see is what you get. A group of people who love this country, who love the
Yeah.
people of this country, and who decided to band together because what we agree upon is far more than what we disagree on. And this has been an incredible journey, and it is only at the beginning. And we want to say to the people of Guyana that in this time where it seems hopeless, where it seems that the odds are stacked against us, we want you to look to Forward Guyana for the inspiration and the understanding that all it takes is a handful. It just takes a remnant of people and a deep belief
Yeah.
that what we dream about is possible for it to happen. I know people saying, oh, the PPP has come back and they have more seats than they ever had before. And what would be the purpose of now going to Parliament? It is useless. But we're here to say that all hope is not lost.
No.
Hope springs eternal. And we are here, and we've said that we are a movement of hope. We are a movement of real change, not exchange. And those
Yeah.
are not just slogans or slangs. They have deep meanings if you would sit and you would listen. And we want to say to the people of Guyana, like I said to us the night of the debriefing, we can't outsource this struggle.
Right.
Nobody's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. And the way that we begin to do that is by making sure that this country works, that by making sure that our institutions work, by making sure that this system that is so broken, that we do our part to repair it. It is easy to go where the money resides. It is easy
Yeah.
to sit on the side of comfort. It is easy to have Stockholm syndrome and say, you know what, since those who oppress me are so great, I might as well join them. But nothing good comes easy. And so we are here. We are committed to the people of Guyana. We're committed to this country. We are committed to ensuring that we leave Guyana a better place than we found it. Not for our own personal aggrandizement, not for our own personal benefit, but for the benefit of the people and our future generations. I am not prepared at a personal level to say to my children, to my nieces, to my nephews, that when we had the opportunity to tackle the problem, we didn't, and we left it and passed it on to them. That is irresponsible, it is reckless, and it is immoral. And we cannot pass these troubles on to our children. We have to do whatever we can do in our lifetime to fix them. And this is why we are here. This is why we continue to commit to you. We will never promise you perfection because we are human, but we will promise you that we will walk in purpose. And we promise you that we will dedicate all of our potential to seeing this nation prosper. You know, to the triumphalists in the PPPC, understand very clearly that you will not phase us. Yes, you believe that you've won, so celebrate, but do so responsibly. Do so understanding that you have no business engaging in triumphalism, because this country belongs to every single Guyanese, not all who voted for the PPP alone or who will benefit from the perks. It belongs to every single Guyanese. And Irfan, apparently you've said you'll be governing for everybody. Well, you know I have no problem with reminding you of your words. And so be very sure that what you say you intend to do, because we will be here holding your feet to the fire. Understand that we're not going to be deterred. We're not going to be discouraged. We're not going to slack the riding now. The work has now begun, because never before has much more been at stake than it is right now. And so we got work to do, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go forth and let's do it. Let's do it.
Thank
I
you
love
so
you
much,
all.
Darwin.
Love
Much
this
love to you as well.
country. Bless us. Bless this cooperative republic of Guyana, these 83,000 square miles. Man, this is our country. God gave us this country. Gave us this country. We got to make the best of it. And, I'm not going to come off of here without saying that I wish Lola speedy recovery.
Thank you.
I don't agree with Lola, music and lyrics and so on and so forth sometimes, but she's a mother, she is a woman, she
Exactly.
is a toddler. And I will end by talking about the violence on our women.
Yet
I will
again.
end by talking, and hey, all right, let me say something. Nigel, I know you got to go in a few minutes, but let me say this. Because for all of the men who believe that they can engage in microaggression against women and political leaders like
Yes,
myself, I want you to understand that when you reduce what we do to a dress parade and all of those disparaging nonsense, you feed into this cycle of our women being murdered. How dare you suggest? How dare you be sexist and to suggest that because a woman is leading a movement or a party that it's a fancy dress rehearsal? You know yourself. You know yourself. And it is those kind of microaggressions and condescending attitudes that make men in Guyana believe that women are disposable and that they're dispensable. Well, y'all will hear a lot from me about it in communities because you're not going to take it like that, because you can't turn around and cry about the murder of our young women and then you make such disparaging statements. You have to hold yourself accountable for some of the nonsense that is going on. And so I wish Lola speedy recovery. Like I said, I don't agree with the lyrics, etc. But she's a
right.
mother, she's a
Of
Guyanese
course.
citizen, she's a woman, and we will stand and we will call for justice in this case, just like we've
Yes,
called for justice in every other case. One of the things that we're not going to be engaging in is selective outrage and selective activism.
I
And so
agree.
this violence against our women has to stop, and we have to review our attitudes. Women have to review the level of internalized misogyny that we demonstrate. And our men have to understand that you have a role to play in curbing this as well. So thank y'all. I'm sorry I had to go off on that rant, but
No,
it
that's
needs to
fine.
be said.
Perfectly
Love
in
us,
order.
love you. God bless this cooperative republic. Forward ever,
Backward
backward
never.
never.
Y'all do well.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Thank you so much. Much love. Bye bye. Bye bye. So there you have it. There you've heard it from our presidential candidate and others. We're so grateful, and we cannot help but thank you enough. Thank yous are never enough when gratitude is really filling your heart. And that is how we feel today. That you have done that which you should. We, or that which you opted to. But we have been aware through our agent that there are many questions to be asked, and there are very few that will be answered. But nonetheless, we will proceed as Forward Ghana movement, future focused. Do well, and thank you so much.